Overall outlook and the risks. The medium-term outlook based on available data and forecasts of key economic variables indicate a more resilient economy in 2017. Growth is expected to turn positive in the year 2017 as prior policy lags converge and the fiscal space becomes more accommodative. In addition, the agricultural sector is expected to play a more significant role in driving growth, given the expansion of the Anchor Borrower program, as well as other developmental initiatives of the government. Likewise, the prospects for moderation of price developments appear to be strengthening on the heels of positive developments in the food subsector. The committee identified the downside risks to this outlook to include the possibility of slower than expected rate of global economic activity, fluctuating oil prices, and production shut-ins due to vandalism of oil installations. The summary of considerations. The committee reassessed the headwinds which confronted the economy in 2016 and the opportunities for recovery in 2017. In particular, the MPC evaluated the implications of the rising wave of nationalistic ideologues across the West and the cancellation and re-evaluation of trade agreements, as well as the possibility of rapid monetary policy normalization in the United States with adverse consequences for other countries, including Nigeria. The uncertainties underpinning the implementation of Brexit and the apparent retreat from globalization and free trade were also important points of reflection at this meeting. In recognition of the seemingly inevitable structural shifts in the global economy, the committee reiterated the need to be more inward-looking and hasten efforts towards economic diversification to support the domestic economy and improved life for the masses in Nigeria. Consequently, members acknowledge the imperative of sectorial policies and greater coordination of monetary and fiscal policy. Conscious of the prevailing market sentiments in favor of a rate cut, the committee reasoned that most of its decisions in 2016 were informed by the need to address the delicate balance between price stability and growth, noting that the pressures on consumer prices were yet to abate, and even as the economy continued to be in recession despite the intervention support by the central bank, the committee stressed that it was not oblivious of the full ramifications of the economic challenges facing the country. The MPC was concerned that the current situation was not amenable to simplistic analysis and quick fixes, such as have found expression and increased attention at different fora and the media. The domestic economic challenges, which include a chronically import-dependent consumption culture, lack of competitiveness of many sectors of the economy, and yawning infrastructural gap, have combined with an unfavorable external environment to complicate the macroeconomic policy environment. The Monetary Policy Authority had on many occasions, and to the extent feasible, taken extraordinary steps to support other policies, as well as compensate for aspects of structural gaps in the economy, even at the expense of its core mandate. The committee specifically noted the positive contribution of agriculture to GDP in the third quarter, mostly attributable to the bank's interventions in the sector. The committee hopes that Given the thrust of the 2017 budget and accompanying sectoral policies, output growth should resume in the short to medium term. The MPC therefore lends its voice to efforts for an early finalization of the 2017 federal budget by the authorities concerned and the resolve to pursue a non-oil-driven economy, as this will go a long way in stimulating aggregate demand and restoring confidence in the economy. The committee also urged the authorities to seriously consider using the public-private partnership model in its infrastructure program as a means of cushioning any possible shocks to budgeted revenue. Committee further noted that inflationary pressures will begin to subside as non-oil output recovers and Naira exchange rate stabilizes. Until then, it stressed, a rate cut would worsen the inflationary conditions, stunt growth, and undermine the current outlook for stability in the foreign exchange market. The committee also feels that doing so would further aggravate demand pressures while undermining existing income levels in the face of the already expansionary monetary policy and increasing inflationary pressures, which will make the economy unattractive for foreign and domestic investment. Given these limitations, the committee was reluctant to lower the policy rate on this occasion, but remained committed to doing so when the conditions permit. From a financial stability standpoint, the committee noted the possible impact of the inclement macroeconomic environment on banking sector resilience. The MPC urged management of the bank to engage industry operators to discuss likely issues of assets quality, credit concentration, and high foreign exchange exposures. Given the growth in money supply arising from unconventional monetary policy operations of the bank and the implications for price and exchange rate development, the committee is committed to moderating growth in narrow money in the year 2017 in line with the bank's monetary growth benchmarks. Decisions. The committee, in consideration of the headwinds in the domestic economy and the uncertainties in the global environment, decided by a unanimous vote to retain the MPR at 14% alongside all other policy parameters. In summary, MPC decided to 1. Retain MPR at 14%, retain the CRR at 22.5%, retain the liquidity ratio at 30%, and retain the asymmetric corridor at plus 200 and minus 500 basis points around the MPR. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Governor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have just listened to the presentation of the MPC communique today